This episode of the Fatherhoods podcast is brought to you by FlyDad, where fatherhood stays fly. This was the silver lining for me catching COVID. So, I could have done a lot better being smart about shit, right? At that conference, I should have had my mask on 100% of the time. I didn't. Bringing that into my house, I felt, a pretty strong sense of guilt, right? And then that changed radically my kid's life. And that was leading right. It was like a few days before Halloween. So now that affects them. I had to pull out my two youngest from school. Now they're in quarantine with me basically for 10 days until everything comes back negative, which they have never tested positive, but the precaution is the way it is for the school system here. But my oldest she's busting her ass as a freshman in high school. Everything's a lot harder for her education wise. So she really is working hard. So Halloween was like the championship for that week for her. Right. And this happens. She was like stressed out and she broke down and started crying. We were having a conversation Halloween morning and she was like, I can't believe this. Like, not mad at me, but mad at the situation and how it affects her ability to go be with her friends trick-or-treating that evening and doing all that. And so my relationship with my eldest daughter is a fun one, but I can't say it's ever been like a really affectionate or emotional one, even though we show each other affection, but it's kind of like asshole humor with each other versus like huggy, lovey, cuddly. Like it's not necessarily like that. And she's really opposed to like sharing how she feels. Like that's like she avoids conversations around emotion all the time. So this was one of those conversations where I just said, yo, let me sit back and like let her vent. And I was like, yo, if you're pissed at me, this is a perfect opportunity for you to express that. Because you should be. Like I fucked up. And I'm terribly sorry that this is affecting you like this. But I want you to know, like, this is completely safe for you to talk about. We're not going to get mad at you if you're expressing how pissed you are. It's okay. And so she started to like open up and she couldn't really get a full word out. So my wife and I are like, helping her speak. Like, do you mean this and that and that? And at the end of it all, like, we got to a place where, she was real thankful for the conversation and something that she would never allow me to do willingly. I asked her, do you want a hug? And she said, yes. And that shit blew me away. I was like, she would never under any circumstance accept a hug. Like me asking, she would never. I have to like steal hugs. And so that right there, I was like, you know what? This sucks, but I'm grateful that we're going through this because it allowed us to grow as a family. And she now feels a little bit more safe and comfortable opening up.